These people are amongst the greatest quiz players in Britain. Together, they make up the Eggheads, arguably the most formidable quiz team in the country. The question is, can they be beaten? Welcome to Eggheads, the show where a team of 5 quiz challengers pit their wits against possibly the greatest quiz team in Britain. They are the Eggheads. And taking on our awesome quiz champions today are the Pixel Peepers from Worcestershire. Now, this team are all members of the Beacon Camera Club, based in Malvern. Let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm 62 and a retired home compost advisor.
Hi, I'm Colin. I'm 56 and I'm an embedded software technologist.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm 64 and a retired electronics and software engineer.
Hi, my name's Cliff. I'm 51 and I'm a finance officer for a foster care agency.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm 64 and I'm a retired social worker.
So Trevor and team, welcome. Good to see you. Pixel Peepers, because you all use cameras.
Digital cameras, that's right.
No one's on the old film still.
Well, we still have some, yes, but I think the majority is digital now.
So are you quizzers as well as photographers?
No, for the first time last night, we quizzed together in an hotel.
Did it go well?
It went reasonably well. We were 4th out of 9, but we're firmly of the opinion that first and second were using their mobile telephone. But we were far too well behaved.
This is amazing that this happens. Why do people quiz when they use their mobiles?
Yeah. What is the point?
What is the point? This drives them particularly crazy. You didn't use your mobiles, obviously. No. OK, 4th out of 9. Today you've got to come 1st out of 2.
We have.
Let's see if you can. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs for our challengers. However, if they fail to defeat the Eggheads, the prize money rolls over to the next show. So, Pixel Peepers, the Eggheads have won the last 5 games, which means £6,000 says you can't beat them today. All right, the first head-to-head battle will be on the subject of sport. Now, who would like this? Is that good?
That will be myself.
That'll be you.
Cliff.
Cliff? All right,
yes,
so
yes.
you've pre-arranged the sport person, but which Egghead? That's the question.
In my view, it's got to be Judith or Chris.
I think I concur.
Trevor concurs.
Trevor concurs. Could I do Chris, please?
Oh, Judith.
Sorry, Chris.
Just no, Judith had a very unfortunate. We can't even use the word sport around Judith now. What do we call it? The unmentionable.
Yeah. It's called Macbeth.
The Macbeth round. Yes, because it cannot be mentioned. So anyway, you're off the hook. Chris, you're doing sport against Cliff. And just to ensure there's no conferring, would you please both go to the question room now? So sport, Cliff, and would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please.
Here we go with your first question, Cliff. Which of these tennis players was born in Switzerland? Joe Wilfried Tsonga, Roger Federer, or Thomas Berdych?
Well, Wilfried Tsonga's French. Thomas Berdych, I think, is a Czech. So the answer is Roger Federer.
It is indeed Roger Federer. Well done. You're off the blocks. OK, Chris, in 2009, it was announced that which of these would feature at the 2016 Olympics after being last seen at the 1904 Games? Golf, darts, or standing long jump?
Well, I don't see darts ever being an Olympic sport. And I don't think it'd be golf. But I do have a mental image of strapping Edwardian gentlemen with handlebar moustaches doing a standing long jump. That's what I'll go with, standing long jump.
And they're bringing back the moustaches as well.
Probably.
Wrong answer. It's golf, strangely. OK, so you're ahead. How about that, Cliff? Barely started.
Say it's early days.
In cricket terminology, a score of 0 by a batsman is sometimes referred to as what? Blotch, blob, or boil?
Yeah. Thinking about when you do scoring on a card in cricket, I don't think you'd put a boil. I think the answer would be blob.
Blob is the right answer. Well done. Are you a cricket person?
Yeah, I used to play in my youth.
And you scored or not?
Yeah, and I did scoring as well. I wasn't often good enough to get in the starting 11, so you'd end up scoring.
All right. Chris, to catch up, you get this wrong, you are out. The MetLife Stadium, which hosted the 2014 Super Bowl, is in which US state? Is the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, Florida, or California?
Mets. Be the New York Mets, wouldn't it? And just across the river from New York is New Jersey. So unless they built a new one in Florida or California, I'd have to go with New Jersey.
New Jersey is the right answer. Well done. So Chris has 1, you've got 2, Cliff. You can end the round by getting this right. The German Nadine Angerer is a leading name in which sport? Athletics, basketball, or football?
Her name doesn't come to mind as an athlete, so that rattles it down to basketball or football. I've not come across a German female basketball team, so I would say football.
Nicely played. 3 in a row. Well done. Can't fault it, Cliff. You've done really well there. You got 3 points.
Thank you.
You've knocked Chris out. He can't come back from that position. So, Chris, you will not be playing with the Eggheads in the final round. Very good start for our challengers. Congratulations, Cliff. Please, both of you, return to your teams. Well done to the Pixel Peepers. Well done, Cliff. So, as it stands, you've not lost a brain. The Eggheads have lost 1. And the next subject for you is art and books. Who would like this?
Any thoughts?
I think it's going to be me.
Trevor, I think.
I think it should
Trevor
be
is the
Trevor.
most literate amongst us.
Yes.
Yes.
He is the only literate one amongst us.
Should we try and lose CJ?
Yes.
Just out of the frame.
Yes, I
yeah.
think
Try
yes.
to.
Yeah.
I will do this.
Okay.
Against CJ, please.
Trevor on arts and books against CJ. To ensure there's no conferring, please go to the question room. Trevor, I've got down here that you are a retired home compost advisor,
I am indeed.
meaning that you help people to work out where to put stuff they got rid of.
Yes, gloriously. I was paid to run around Worcestershire and Gloucestershire and the local area advising homeowners on how best to compost their waste.
And what are the principles of a good compost?
Oh, lots of green stuff, lots of vegetables and grass, but not too much of that. You need to balance that with some high carbon input, so papers and cardboard and the like of that, and you get almost working again, aren't I?
Well, I love the enthusiasm.
You get a happy mix for your compost.
CJ, how's your compost heap at home?
I do actually have one, and very healthy it is.
And do you need any advice?
No, it seems to be managing all right by itself. I mean, that's one of the advantages of living in the middle of nowhere.
All right, so good luck in this round. Arts and books, long way from compost, unless we put the old books on the compost heap. Trevor, would you like to go first or second?
Oh, first, please.
Here you go. In his later years, which Spanish artist was renowned for his flamboyant moustache? Is that Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso, or Juan Miro?
Now, I'm not sure whether all of them, I'm sure Juan did, I'm not sure all of them had facial hair, but I do know, having visited the museum, that Salvador Dali had a truly magnificent one. So my answer would be Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali is the right answer. Where was the museum you visited then?
It's around Barcelona. I couldn't take you there exactly, but it is down there in the south of Spain.
Very good. CJ, your question. Before a fresco painting is started, 2 coats of which substance are typically applied to a wall and allowed to dry and harden? Oil, plaster, or milk?
I think a fresco usually goes on plaster.
Plaster is the right answer. Well done. Okay. Back to you, Trevor. Dan Brown's 2013 novel Inferno was influenced by the works of which other writer? Is that Shakespeare, Dante, or Chaucer?
I think, having read this book wonderfully, and the hint is in the name, I think I'm going to have to go with Dante with some confidence.
Because it's Dante's Inferno, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dante is the right answer, Trevor. Well done. All right. CJ, here is your next question. Which of these is a character in the Oscar Wilde play The Importance of Being Earnest? Linda Lohman, Mrs. Malaprop, or Cecily Cardew?
Well, it's not Mrs. Malaprop. She's a Sheridan, I think. Do you know, I haven't actually read the play. I mean, Cecily Cardew's definitely a sort of name that Wilde would use for one of these characters. Oh, hold on, isn't Linda Lohman presumably the wife of Willie Lohman in Death of a Salesman? Would make sense. So I'll go for Cecily Cardew.
It is indeed Cecily Cardew. That's right. Back to you, Trevor. Francesco Guardi was a native and painter of landscapes of which city? Rome, Florence, or Venice?
Nathan, I knew it couldn't last. I think Guardi. Would you mind spelling the Guardi?
Yes, of course. Guardi.
I think we have other famous landscapists from Venice, and therefore I'd move away from that. And with no true confidence, I think Florence would have to be my answer.
Anyone? Eggs?
Venice.
It's Venice, Trevor. Sorry about that. So you've got 2 after 3 questions, and if CJ gets this right, he wins the round. Which Wilkie Collins novel did Dorothy L. Sayers call probably the very finest detective story ever written? Is it The Woman in White, The Moonstone, or Armadale?
Well, The Moonstone is counted as one of the seminal detective works, if not the very first one. The Woman in White isn't a detective story, it's just a murder and supposed ghost story. Armadale I don't know about, but The Moonstone is definitely a seminal detective work, so I'll try The Moonstone.
The Moonstone is the right answer, CJ. Well done, you've taken the round. Sorry, Trevor. The team have lost their captain on this side. Let's see what that does to them. Please come back, rejoin your teams, and we'll play on. So as it stands, Pixel Peepers have now lost a brain from the final round. The Eggheads have also lost one. CJ, though, stays in. Next subject is science. Who would like science?
Well, I think that probably falls to me.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think that would have to be Ian.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ian?
Yeah.
OK, which Egghead, Ian, would you like to take on? Any
I
of the 3 in the middle?
I think I would choose Judith, please.
OK. Judith's most famous moment was knocking out a rocket scientist in the science category.
I know, it was a
Well, I
triumph.
might have
It's one of the great moments.
Good choice.
He didn't know anything about flowers,
It
though.
was birds and flowers, wasn't it, basically? He was very unhappy. Anyway, Ian from Pixel Peepers against Judith from the Eggheads on science. And to ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions. Ian, tell us about your photography. I gather you got a picture on Countryfile.
Yes, I did. Quite surprised about that. I've entered the competition for the Countryfile calendar probably every year for the last 5 or 6 years. And then to get the telephone call from somebody that I thought was from our club winding me up, I nearly got thrown off before I'd accepted the honour. It was quite a very, very surprising thing, and one of which I'm quite proud.
What was the picture?
It was of a very large wave crashing into the seawall at the harbour in Porthcawl in South Wales. It was a nasty grey day, and we only had 45 seconds, I think, while the light came through the clouds in the right direction to get the best picture.
Oh, wow. Well, that's all. I always think photography is light, isn't it?
It is.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely right.
OK, good luck in this round.
Thank you.
Science, we might even shade into a bit of photography, I don't know. I think we had an F-stop question a while back. So would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please.
And here is your first question, Ian. A group of energy-producing turbines is commonly known by what name? Is that a wind dairy, a wind manor, or a wind farm?
Well, I've never heard of the term wind dairy or wind manor. It's fairly obvious to me that it is a wind farm.
Wind farm is the right answer, Ian. Well done. First point to you. OK, Judith. Which of these does a honeybee perform to indicate the location of a food source to other bees? Is it the waggle dance, the wiggle jig, or the wobble routine?
I think it's the waggle dance.
You're not tempted to go down the right there?
No.
Waggle dance is correct.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
OK, Ian, your question. Helix aspersa is the scientific name for which of these creatures? Is it blue tit, garden snail, or hedgehog? H-E-L-I-X, helix, and then A-S-P-E-R-S-A, aspersa.
Okay, well, there's a Latin root in there, helix, meaning spiral or twisted curve. And the only one of those 3 that I can imagine would have any kind of spiral or twisted curve would be the shell of a garden snail, so that would be my answer.
And garden snail is correct. Well done. You did what the Eggheads do. They would look for the root of the word. That's what you do, isn't it, Judith?
Yeah.
Here is your next question. Approximately what percentage of the night is spent in the REM stage of sleep in a typical human adult? 25%, 50%, or 75%?
I was expecting you to say 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours. Well, you're supposed to sleep about 8 hours a night, aren't you? And so 50% would be 4 hours, 25% would be 2 hours. I should think it's probably 25%.
Very good. 25% is right. OK, Ian, your question. 2 points each, both doing well. For what does the letter P stand in the medical imaging technique known as a PET scan, PET? Portal, positron, or particle?
PET scan. Scanners usually use some form of radiation. Portal doesn't relate to that. Particle might, but I'm pretty sure that it's positron.
It is positron. Well done. All right, Judith, here's your question. In 2014, scientists in the Brazilian Amazon announced the discovery of the araguaia, a new species of what? Is that tree frog, crocodile, or river dolphin?
Araguaia.
Araguaia. A-R-A-G-U-A-I-A. Lots of vowels.
Oh, golly, I don't know. But I mean, I think they'd have known about crocodiles and river dolphins by now because they're so huge. You can't miss them, can you? I think it might be a new kind of tree frog.
No, it's a river dolphin.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that means you're out of the contest, Judith. I'm sorry to say that. Ian, well done. You are in the final round. The photographers going great guns here. It's getting interesting. Both of you, please rejoin your teams. So, as it stands, Pixel Peepers have lost 1 brain from the final round. The Eggheads have lost 2 brains. The next subject for you is music. Who takes music?
Right, I think it was mine.
I think it was yours.
I think that's Colin.
Colin, okay.
Yeah. So
Now, Colin, who would you like to play? It can be you're only down to Barry and Kevin here. They're both good players.
Well, there's not much to
Not
choose
much to
between them, is
choose.
there?
I'd be tempted to try and take Kevin, I think.
Yeah. Give Kevin a run for his money.
Kevin's the man.
We don't get to see
Kevin's
Kevin play enough.
A lot of people want to be in the booth next to Kevin for the experience of taking on possibly the greatest egghead of all time.
Oh, thanks for that.
I hope that hasn't put you off. Kevin now knows he will lose this round. Colin from Pixel Peepers versus Kevin from the Eggheads. Please go to the question room. So, Colin, you're another photographer?
That's right, yes.
And do you have special kit for that? Do you have long lenses and all that?
I tend to go for the minimalist approach. I don't like lugging all the gear around because, to me, it's not the kit, it's taking the pictures that's the fun thing. So I tend to be, say, somewhat more minimalist.
What do you like to take pictures of?
I call myself an opportunistic photographer. If something takes my interest, I take pictures of it. A lot of our members are keen on landscape because of the lovely part of the world we live in. I'll do that, but it's not my specialism. I leave that to Ian, as we see. He's very successful, as you've seen.
So we're on music here, and Colin, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, please.
Which US rock musician is nicknamed the Boss? Is that John Bon Jovi, Steve Tyler, or Bruce Springsteen?
Well, the Boss I always think is a rather arrogant name. I don't know who gave him the name. I've never heard of Steve Tyler, so I know it's not him. And of course, Bon Jovi is extremely well known, but mainly as part of a band is Bruce Springsteen, who's the man by himself, and Bruce is the boss.
Bruce Springsteen is the boss, quite right. Yes. Kevin, what name was given to the brand of 1950s music popularised by Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly? Is it Poppabilly, Rockabilly, or Bluesabilly?
I'm not sure the other two have ever actually existed. That is Rockabilly.
Rockabilly is the right answer, well done. So 1 each. Back to you, Colin. Simon Rattle was appointed Chief Conductor and Artistic Director of which orchestra in 2002? Was that London Symphony, Berlin Philharmonic, or BBC Concert?
Ooh, well, I'm fairly sure he's not left the UK, so I think I would eliminate Berlin on that basis. I'm not a big follower of classical music, so it's going to be a bit of a pitch in the dark, and I'm going to go for London Symphony.
No, it's Berlin Philharmonic.
Oh.
So a rare slip from your team. Okay, Kevin, you're opening. Which female singer calls her fans crazy cats? Is that Lady Gaga, Ellie Goulding, or Pixie Lott?
I'm not sure. I think Lady Gaga calls her as little monsters or something like that, so I'm assuming it's got to be one, unless she has more than one name for them. So I haven't heard this, but I'm assuming it's got to be one of the other two. Crazy cats. I don't know it, but I mean, it just sounds to me perhaps as though it might be more likely to be Pixie Lott, so I'll say Pixie Lott.
Pixie Lott is the right answer. He does do that. He is very good. Okay, so Colin, you have to get this one right or you will be out. Omari is the middle name of which of these hip-hop artists? Kanye West, Jay-Z, or Drake?
Well, you can probably guess from my demeanour that we're going into the realms of guesswork again. So, middle name, you said. So, of those three, Drake seems to have only got one name, so you can't have a middle if you've only got one name. Jay-Z, well, that looks like they belong firmly together, so I'm going to have to go for Kanye West on the basis there's two names to put the middle one in. So it's the best logic I can come up with.
Well, the logic, yeah, it's interesting logic. It's right. Well done. Kanye West. I'm sure Drake had a surname at some point, but anyway. Okay, Kevin, if you get this one right, you're in the final round. As a young boy, Mozart was said to have been afraid of which instrument? Harp, cello, or trumpet?
I ought to know this, but I don't. Afraid of which instrument? So does that mean the physical instrument or the sound of it? I suppose on the basis that as a child it might fall on you, I'll try for the harp.
That's interesting. You've got it wrong. Looking at the three, I guess the trumpet is the one that jumps out because it's just loud and would shock you, I suppose. The trumpet is the answer.
Yeah, okay, well, I thought about that. I thought about all of them, but...
Yeah. After 3 questions, you are level. We go to sudden death, Colin. Well done. You held him off there. Bit of luck on your side and your brilliant hip-hop answer. I didn't know you were into hip-hop. You hadn't mentioned that to us.
Yeah, neither did I.
Okay, it's sudden death now. It gets a bit harder because I don't give you alternatives. Here's your question. Franklin Shepherd, Inc. is a song from which 1981 Stephen Sondheim musical?
Musicals. My wife takes me to musicals quite often. She's trying to educate me, but her education is not quite complete enough in this case. My mind is a blank as regards any Stephen Sondheim musicals, let alone which one this belongs to. So I'll name a musical just because I'll think of one off the top of my head, and that's Guys and Dolls. So there we are. There's a musical, but just to give you something better than a pass. Okay. Is Guys and Dolls Sondheim, Kevin? No, it's not. No. Do you know the answer here?
No, I don't know. Is it Company?
No, Merrily We Roll Along.
Merrily We Roll Along. Oh, well, yeah, I've seen that.
Don't worry, Colin, not an easy question at all. Yeah. So, Kevin, your question for the round. Which small island on the Thames in Twickenham was a major jazz and blues venue in the 1960s and hosted early gigs by the Rolling Stones?
I think that was Eel Pie Island.
Yes, Eel Pie Island is the right answer. So you've taken the round on sudden death. Sorry, Colin, you've been knocked out there. Against Kevin, who's very, very good. Please come back and we'll see what happens next. Well, this is what we have been playing towards. It is time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So that's Trevor and Colin from the Pixel Peepers and Chris and Judith from the Eggheads. I'm afraid I have to ask you to leave the studio. Well, Ian, Cliff and Mike, you are playing to win Pixel Peepers £6,000. Kevin, Barry and CJ, you're playing for something that money can't buy, the Eggheads' reputation. As usual, I will ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge and you are allowed to confer. So, Pixel Peepers, the question is, are your 3 brains able to overwhelm the Eggheads 3 over here? Would you like to go first or second?
We'd like to go first, please, Jeremy.
Okay, Mike and team, good luck. For which 2013 animated film was the Pharrell Williams song Happy written? Is that Despicable Me 2, Frozen, or Monsters, Inc.?
Well, Monsters, Inc. wasn't really a film where there was any music, was there?
No. There was one during the film.
What song?
Yeah, there was a song during it, but I don't think it was Happy.
What about Despicable Me is a story about a man that eventually turns around and becomes a friendly fellow.
Yeah.
Right.
So...
And Frozen is a typical Disney musical. But that song title wouldn't lean you towards Frozen,
I
would it?
favour Despicable Me without... What do you think?
I think so.
Right, without a great deal of confidence, we're going to go for Despicable Me 2.
Despicable Me 2 is the right answer.
Yes!
You played that very well. You really did.
Good guess.
Okay. Eggheads, your first question now. In mythology, who is the Roman equivalent of the Greek Eos, the personification of the dawn? Is that Aurora, Fortuna, or Diana?
Everybody happy with Aurora?
Aurora.
Yep. Yep, we're all happy with this one. It's Aurora.
Aurora is right. Okay, the next question is for Pixel Peepers. The shipping forecast areas Viking, Dogger, and Forties are all named after which features? Estuaries, headlands, or sandbanks?
Pretty sure the Dogger is a sandbank, isn't it?
Yes, think so.
So on that basis, if the Dogger's a sandbank, the others are likely to be?
Not headlands.
No, they're not
No,
headlands, and
no.
they're certainly not estuaries.
Right.
Sandbanks? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to go for sandbanks.
The correct answer is sandbanks. 2 out of 2. They're very pleased behind you.
Good.
They're impressed. Okay. Your question, Eggheads. £6,000 we're playing for. The Old Contemptibles formed part of the British Army during which war? First World War, Second Boer War, or Korean War?
First World War. First World War.
Yes, they were called the Old Contemptibles because Kaiser Wilhelm II called them a contemptible little army. And they were anything but that, and they were in the First World War.
First World War is the right answer. Okay, so 2 each. The third question is often crucial here. Take your time over this. In which Asian country is the city that was commonly known as Trichinopoli during the Victorian period? Is that India, Burma, or Sri Lanka? I'll spell it for you. Trichinopoli, as you'd imagine.
Whoa.
Right.
I've never heard this.
I've never heard of it either.
Have you?
We need
So
to
we're-
try and rule something out.
Total guesswork here, then. Well, the Victorians, of course, were heavily involved in India.
In India, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much in Burma. Burma came later, didn't it?
Yeah. I've not heard of Trichinopoli in relation to
Trichinopoli.
India.
No, I think we'd know it if it was India.
Would we?
I think we might have heard of it if it was India.
Might have. Tempted
Um,
to go for
Sri Lanka, because we can't work it to be any of the others.
That's right.
Okay.
Uneducated
Inverse logic,
guess, I
but there you are.
Right, yes. This is very uncertain here, but we're going to go for Sri Lanka.
India.
India.
India is the answer. You've got 2 out of 3. Let's see how they do on their third question. If you get this one right, Eggheads, the contest is over. It's tense here. £6,000 we're playing for. In the 1920s and 1930s, Charles Holden became best known for his designs of what? Advertising hoardings, underground stations, or telephone boxes?
Holden's underground stations. Yeah, and he designed the headquarters, I think.
Did he?
One in St James, isn't it? So it's underground stations.
Yes, we're all agreed again on this one. He was one of the more well-known designers of underground stations.
If you've got this right, the contest is over. Charles Holden designed underground stations, so we say congratulations, Eggheads, you have won. Trichinopoli. That was hard.
I said India.
Yeah.
We said India, but, you know.
So commiserations to Pixel Peepers, and I feel we should get the cameras out right now and have a photo of this auspicious occasion. Unfortunately, the Eggheads have done what comes naturally to them. Their winning streak continues, so it means you won't be going home with the £6,000, and therefore that money rolls over to our next show. Eggheads, congratulations. Who, I wonder, will beat you? I can't see it happening. Join us next time to see if, trying to jinx them here, to see if a new team of challengers have the brains to defeat the Eggheads. £7,000 says they don't. Till then, goodbye.